Welcome everyone to our open source channel here live on YouTube. Continuing the daily, the only constant is change and open source Linux distribution maintenance here. In today's news, breaking news, more Rust. Regular subscribers already know how much I love and hate relationship with Rust. Case in point today totally caught me by surprise and probably nobody reported about that yet. The thin provisioning tools of Linux LVM2, the logical volume management stuff. What are the thin provisioning tools, you might ask? And yes, I myself have only found them by pure chance and accident some 5, 6 or 7 years ago. They are for additional tools not in LVM2 Linux utils proper of LVM2 create, raid and stuff. But for thin provisioning, why personally, you might also like one after another, right? You might ask what the heck is thin provisioning? Thin provisioning is for thinly over provisioning logical volume management that might be useful if you want some customers to allocate them more storage than you might have. Like let's say customer or you internally, even if it's like an internal customer. So someone might need 20 terabyte of data, but today you don't have them yet. And so you allocate those already, for virtual machine and whatnot, like download distributed storage network and stuff, and whatever the case might be. So you give them, you thin provision them 20 terabytes, and you only have one that allows you then need to monitor that and allows you to flexible actually add storage. Like say you have 16 serial attached SCSI hotspot base there, and like month after month you click in another terabyte or 10 of storage, whatever. So, but for me personally, actually this over provisioning for me not the very most important thing. I only found this accidentally because this also includes the tools for cache maintenance, state maintenance, and checking. So that is, I only found this out the hard way because actually we are one of the few users who have LVM2 based device mapper, SSD caching in production, and I learned the hard way, like you can set this up like LVM2 -- cache and whatever with your NVMe connected SSD storage. And I only found the hard way, you obviously need this tools because this includes the cache checking here. And so to my surprise, long story short, what I found just this week, I found by pure chance accidents, like something updated this, maybe data updated that. Let's also use this terminal here of T2 sources somewhere. And they didn't build anymore. Maybe file system thin provisioning tools. So probably data updated that of like, yeah, data updated this of there untested of like didn't build, but yeah, let's update anyway. What could possibly go wrong? Our lovely AI bot, just the regular AI quality. And this week I noticed, yeah, the reason it doesn't build anymore is like, hey, they converted this to Rust, as you see. And kind of surprising and amazing, as much as love and hate mostly hate relationship I have with Rust. And thanks for that super chat, that is amazing. Lovely work, some lunch money, highly appreciated. It's a serious minefield out there. Thank you very much, highly appreciate this super chat there. I hope you learned something and get something from all those videos. So for me, thin provisioning tools also previously stood out because it was one of the very few tools that I said here so often in my YouTube videos that the state of open source could have been so much better if many more tools would have previously been written in C++, right? Yes, I know other people hate C++ as much as I hate the Rust ecosystem. And don't get me wrong, I kind of like the Rust core language, just not the surrounding stuff. So it is amazingly irritating that one of the very few Linux user space tools written in C++ were now one of the first converted to Rust. I don't know if it's fully converted. They write here somewhere they are in the process of converting this here somewhere. In the process of switching the tools from C++ to Rust. So I'm not actually, we could actually check. So, and so the thing is also, I probably have this, let's, first things first, thin. So yeah, I don't know why they write in the process, because on a first glance, I don't find here any C sources anymore. Anyway, it's a little bit of a minefield indeed, because initially that I fixed that to build with Cargo, but that didn't install all tools, right? So Rust and Cargo is so amazing. I mean, of course, they are partially amazing, but initially I converted this to install purely with Cargo, but then only today I wondered, like, wait a second, because then it only installed pdata tools, and so it's like dude, do I need to adapt some other tools, patch and whatnot, because previously they were using not only thin stuff but cache. So what you need for SSD caching is cache check, because otherwise the cache is rebuilt. So if you don't have a cache check binary that determines the cache state and the consistency of it, then the cache is each time rebuilt, which is pretty wasteful, like on each reboot. So then I read the fine print here is like also attention to detail, right, and dedication, because if I wouldn't have investigated it further, I would for many weeks or months not realized until some of my business enterprise customers need this actually realize, like, wait a second, so like 2023 converted to Rust, but they still rely on make install because you can't install a Symlink collection. So what's this? Make install is like, yeah, 2022 you can't install purely in Cargo, because to install a collection, a handful of Symlinks, you need make. Well, of course you could also use a shell script, but so yeah, this is of course confusing our build system, right? Like although our build system would ignore the make file and prefer Cargo, but it's like, yeah, because all this thing does is like run a handful of Symlinks and man pages. I slightly wonder, like, do they not have in Cargo? This is the kind of stuff, right? 2023, you not only need Cargo but make. How this looks in our T2 codeless package is like this. Of course, our package metadata continues to amaze, because disabling Cargo install is as simply as clearing Cargo inst opt and then using our hook point and infrastructure to hook add post make eval make inst opt, and voila, that is done. So yeah, that is amazing. The only thing is, so the next thing is then, which I also realized the other live stream, is, so this has serious consequences, right? So this is just a summary, basically, and I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. Also, further comment there, T2 project might give some answers, old hardware with more modern kernel, as simple as that. Actually, if you write, I auctioned something new. You might have seen this on others YouTubers' channels. So speaking of old hardware, actually not only do I have a stack of old hardware in the office that I need to make proper YouTube videos, but just this arrived in original shrink wrap. Speaking of old hardware, and I wonder if this actually still works. This previously worked with the Linux kernel, but I wonder if actually this support regressed with the deletion of old-fashioned parallel ATA. Anyway, we digress. So Roland also says Cargo doesn't have any real installation feature. Yeah, that certainly sucks, right? Recurring theme here of reinventing the wheel. Everything is amazing. The 25th build system, and then it still sucks. But anyway, for me this has serious consequences, because the more tools, you could argue, sure, not everyone needs thin provisioning tools, but The cache check is actually quite usable, and you could argue that even the thin provisioning tools might be quite mission critical for enterprise users. But for me, this also means we need even more Rust support, right? So the next consequence for this, by the way, I actually probably didn't commit this yet. Thin provisioning tools, best with L. Fixed thin pro. Also amazing long packaging name, right? I really wish, I mean, sure, I could have shortened this, but hey, that is a freaking official upstream. It's like the open source package names are rarely that long. This is a little bit annoying to provisioning tools. Provisioning, I think this is, I should have, yeah, pro tip, copy and paste everything except, especially long names. So fix, actually install everything again. So, but for me, this also means we need to enable Rust for more targets. Not only the Linux kernel got this now, and eventually we need this for some eventually new drivers in Linux kernel. But until now, today, we of course cross-compile Rust and Cargo for most architectures, but not for all. So I had this only for Firefox, right? Because until like literally last week, we only needed Rust, well, mostly at least, sort of, for Firefox. Except on some surrounding stuff, and soon then Mesa and stuff. But if we're talking Asahi, Mesa, and Linux kernel drivers, we were still talking Firefox target, right? But if we now need more and more, eventually raising Rust as tier 1 language, I actually need to move this to minimal, right? And so it's a little bit kind of annoying, because this significantly increases, like minimal is like, what is minimal, right? 2023, and then Rust and Cargo become minimal. This, of course, when a decade ago, minimal was like 100 megabyte or so Linux distribution size, like nowadays, and that is the kind of sad thing, right? That everything becomes so complex, and with complexity, hashtag peatbugs are also more main channel, and Intel, Apple, everything like buggy left and right, and not even to count Linux kernel and Mesa bugs. But that is the thing, right? Then in 2023, we need to elevate, not Rust, like the only thing we wanted to elevate, actually, by the way, I need to check, do we have in minimal LVM2? Yeah, we have, like if you wanted some logical volume management on your embedded system. But yeah, and that is, again, Rust as core language, memory safety. I'm one of those who, long before many others for 20 years, were calling for more. Sure, I personally advocating the best at that time 20 years ago, C++. Nowadays, of course, yes, the modern C++ kind. Not really simple anymore. But with Rust, not only do we need Cargo as build system, but LVM, right? And that's certainly not only the complexity of Rust, but LVM significantly, like nearly doubles the total, not really doubling counting the Linux kernel, but significantly in terms of compiler complexity, adding a whole second infrastructure of compiler infrastructure, right, for low-level virtual machine compiler infrastructure. And I guess we do that now. So previously we added LVM for, for Mesa. So previously we only added LVM into the mix for minimal Xorg for Mesa, and then Rust to minimal Firefox. It's like, yeah, 2023, kiss minimalism, goodbye. And that also means I can already do that here, which is we have some architectures. That also means architectures where you don't have Rust, like Super H, Itanium, maybe Alpha, or whatever the case might be, certainly some of them. We need to copy Rust C. Do we even have that here? Oh, we have already some. Are those the same as LVM? No, it isn't. What do we have? Alpha, IA, what do we have here? LVM. Yeah, that is the thing. So this we will quite add some architectures here. And we given our and with that previously thin provisioning tools worked for nearly all architectures probably, or for all architectures, but yeah, like with Rust, that is the thing, right? As much as many more open source base infrastructure packages, projects need Rust, use Rust, they disable themselves from all the non-mainstream architectures, right? And I'm sure, so this are not all, right? So this raising Rust to a more tier 1 language, even more, I mean, it was already like tier 1, except we didn't build it for all, but with that becomes much more testing now, right? So only constant is change and regressions and testing here, and the only substitute for testing is more testing. So with enabling Rust and LVM for all architectures, for all like, I kind of feel like maybe I do this later, another month, but I feel like maybe we should split 20, like maybe we should have, or we do this today already. Maybe, you know what, let's do that today already. I just don't know what I would call this. Or we do not do that today. I probably want a 30 like more. I just don't know what we should call this. 30 Rust, 30 less minimal. Let's do that. I think I do this another month. The reason I do this another month is for testing, because if I add this here as another intermediate step, I will not have the test coverage now. And if I have this in 20 minimal, I will now find all the Blackfin, AVR, like everything where previously we have not even tried to build this will now fail. And that of course will complete here this list of AVR2, Blackfin, probably Motorola 68K maybe. So yeah, so much to this testing. And the reason I built this Firefox, so that is PowerPC 64LE, of course. Roland says Blackfin not even supported properly by GCC. I guess it was previously supported, right? I don't remember. It is removed these days, so for that we have a overlay of a slightly older GCC version. Cheers. But yeah, it is a little bit sad that they remove support for non-mainstream architecture so quickly. So last version had bugs. Yeah, I try to have a version, like basically I archive and conserve a version that, like the last best working version. If currently we don't have the last best working version, then oh cool, Roland has a private fork with lots of hacks. Sounds amazing. Patches welcome. And commentary 4, Trady, learning different languages, major task, get comfy with what you work with. Agnostic hardware wise. Yeah, happy that you hopefully enjoy this and learn something. So Firefox, I'm basically waiting here for PowerPC, which is why I had this building already before live stream. So let's see what happened here with thin. Thin. Apparently not sure did the thin provisioning tools in PowerPC. Why did this not yet build? What have I done here? Maybe the config regenerate, not really sure. Maybe I just added this to the config, it didn't regenerate yet. You know what, let's cancel that here because I don't need Firefox right now. What do you do here wrong? This is somehow strange. Sure, there is a good reason for that. Let's skip over this. Don't want to wait. $180 should have been long built or not. What am I overlooking here? Why do I have thin provision tools here? Or is it thin? Oh no, it can't be disabled because it's in this list. Why is it not yet built? 180 should have been built pretty early. Although the only thing is we might need to change the priority because Rust is built. Oh no, we don't need because we should have the cross compiler pre-built. Where's my thin provision tools? Because I wanted to see that cross compilation. Another thing is of course Spark 64. So basically this also stresses all our Rust and LVM builds because previously I only built Firefox, obviously for targets that didn't segmentation fault. You can still super chat, YouTube membership, Patreon and GoFundMe and stuff for maintaining Firefox for more architectures. I still need week and long debugging sessions for segmentation faults on Spark 32-bit PowerPC. I slightly wonder what's going on with my so yeah, and so the good thing is, as usual, it improves our T2 distribution, keeps Rust and LVM tested from architectures because I might still need to patch it for Spark 32-bit userland. I also need to hope, actually, the thing is, although sometimes, now it failed. So I'm a little bit surprised that this purge is so late. So yeah, what's going on there? Code with active exception, could not compile hash brown. Process didn't succeed. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm waiting for and what I was afraid of. And that is exactly the thing, right? If you need state-of-the-art languages, then is it a warning or this is just a warning, right? Could not compile text wrap. LVM 64-bit code requested on a sub-target that doesn't support it? What the heck? Mwah, 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 mwah. What's going on here? I mean, so that is also here come multiple annoying things coming together, right? Which I might come off a little bit negative at times. I recurrently criticize stuff for not being more than Zing, right? Why has LVM Rust not the same target definitions for CPU? I mean, if I would work on LVM Rust, and for some architecture, I would simply copy all the definitions from GCC. Apparently that is not the case. Yeah, epic thread ripping through. What? Where is the beginning of this? Here. Maybe this is somehow using the wrong compiler, because I have it hard to believe that Power 8 is, I mean, you never know. But so this is not, this is like ignored. Didn't Firefox previously work for? Like, yeah, that is the thing, right? So I basically need to like epic thread rip through all our 32-bit combinations and see which one new. There's also exec abort, but that might be. That might be this error here, 64 required. That is bizarre. I would have expected a lot. I mean, I used PowerPC 64 because I thought that is so modern that it for sure builds. But yeah, 2023, so modern and mainstream that it for sure builds. For what do we configure here? We configure for, no, we freaking configure for PowerPC 64 LE. That is a bit annoying, to be honest. But not unexpected. If you're wondering why I'm constantly complaining here, this is why. How open source developers spend their Sunday. I mean, not only live on YouTube, but having to debug. Oh, don't tell me. Having to diagnose annoying build errors. Let's try that again. Too fast typing. Wi-Fi on this channel. Hey, at least 0 drop frames. 0. Oh, that's not 0 drop. Oh, watch. Wrong build. Stop. So let's see what else do we have there. Couldn't even hexing segmentation. OX4. Do you want an OX4? Sure, if you have a, you mean is it one laptop per child, right? I mean, if you have a spare one and want to send it in, that is always welcome. Hope shipping is not too excessive, but always interested in collecting interesting hardware. Treyos says, make it super hard to develop software. Yeah, if tools keep changing. Yeah, that is the thing. It is a decade in the making. So basically we are now at the, I would say we are now at the turning point where like a lot of modern stuff is not written in C, which kind of amazingly and rightfully so, just that I really wish the Rust and Cargo ecosystem would be much more friendly. And that is the disconnect of reality, right? There are so many Rust, if I may call them hipsters or fanboys, and I intentionally mean this a little bit negatively. There is so much articles and media out there of Rust and Cargo are amazing, when in reality I appreciate all the memory safety and stuff. I just don't appreciate the not as developer friendly. And I really wish a decade later of, many people don't know Rust and Cargo exist for a decade, and I really wish this stuff would have been much better quality than it is. There's so much, I showed previously, so much stuff hard-coded and so on. So I wanted to check, so we should run the cross-compiled Rust, and so the thing is, there are so many options, I constantly need to Google them myself. Target, was it? Target list, what is, let's maybe first compile something. So first I want to check that. So what did it build? So that should hello. What? Why is this? Wait, this is bizarre. Why is this a? So this Rust compiler is not building for the right. Why is this default target not? So somehow the default target is not correct for this. How did that happen? That is crazy. Look at this, we have PowerPC 64LE T2 Linux. Why is this not the default target? That is bizarre. Rust print target. So the problem is with all this gazillion command line things, unlike you have GCC, Clang, no Rust, and Zig, Nim, Swift, and so on. Print target list. Well, I want the default target. We did that. Compilers of a default target. Rust CR, right. Sometimes it's so simple. All right, I actually did that. Host. Why? Okay, but that is not really what. Wait, Rust build host. Should we build this slightly differently? Okay, that is somehow not ideal. I mean, theoretically it is host. How did this previously work then? Did I not previously had it so that I could swear I had it previously patched and configured so that the Rust cross compiler would by default build. That is annoying. Did we not have target? What's this? Cargo uses Rust VV to default target triple. Process builder, cached output starts with field. Extract cargo result for both version. Find starts with field map. Rusty didn't had host intern string host. Now I'm puzzled. Good that we, but I would need to remote log into the office, or actually maybe I have it here on this SSD. So the problem is, so I would say probably this is then our Rust is configured wrong again. That sucks. Build. That really sucks that that is not. I would call this right though. Shit, how did this? You can never, so basically unit test in my previous video, what you don't unit test is broken. So basically I would need a unit test to test that. I mean, maybe we should even go as far and have integrated unit testing for some like really, because the thing is, it takes weeks or months to accidentally notice, right? You build stuff and then only weeks or months later you notice, darn, this is not correct anymore. This is basically build unit test some major things like cross GCC, Clang, Rust target or so, and other working things, because I mean, even if we have unit testing, like if you just build stuff and then don't usually run the unit tests, then you wouldn't even notice that for a long time. Because now the problem is I need to go back and debug what's since when that is broken or whatever. I have another thing. Somehow, yeah, look at that. Probably extracting. So also something broke here, because look at that. I knew that was already broken. Here we configure this tools cargo because we need a fresh matching cargo. Also that is new enough and compatible with Rust and Firefox. So you see clearly here, configure build tools cargo, right? And if we search for that, cargo is not built, right? I noticed that already some days ago. That is basically also It's a regression. I'm very sure that previously worked. So much to the Rust. I even have it to do here, right? I'm very, very, very sure, like 99.99% confident that when I wrote this line here, that it was working. And since some days here, I have here already to do fix this to work again, right? So much to, I could also, this is so bizarre. I could swear that this was working previously. It's like, yeah, but I cut this live stream short here. We didn't really succeed in what we wanted to succeed. I probably double check with my other old system here later, because I have all the T2 targets built the last time on from that system. But here, the only constant is change and regressions, and what you didn't unit test is broken. That is rather sad. And this is not what I expected to. I did not expect it that this today does not work. That is crazy. Or do we actually, I wonder if we, do we by default run this cross build stuff? I even wonder what it builds here for thin provisioning then with cargo. Actually we add cargo. Okay, so then, but then something, but that means, I mean, clearly there must be also an upstream bug, I guess. With PowerPC 64, this is so bizarre. I wonder if, but and also the modern complexity, right? So it could be a bug in LVM or Rust or both. And now we need to investigate all of them. What is the current version? 15? What I'm sure there is, what was the 970 somewhere? Because previously G5 was also already not supported. What was the 7? What was the G4? Seven. What did I? I was close. Maybe that even existed. 7450, whatever. Darn, so many matches. Here is something, so support, so here is, but that might only be, I guess that's slip target. Yeah, but then, and that is then the modern life, right? Instead of only having one toolchain like GCC, bin utils working, you also need LVM, Clang, Rust C, brave new world indeed. Why do they have here? They have here Power 8 Altivec. 744. Are they added G5 in the meantime? But maybe we were using capital, that is a possibility. Oh no, come on. You must be kidding me. They effing abbreviated them Power 6? They can't be serious. You don't tell me you can't make this up. I can no more. You don't. I'm speechless. You really want to tell me you need to address this with... I mean, how could they possibly effing think that that is a good idea? When the... Like that is what I meant in Zinc. Like, why... I mean, each normal sane person, like how can the LVM people... I'm shocked. Like, how can they... If that is... It's like, why? Why? Why would you abbreviate it so stupidly? And if you abbreviate it so stupidly, why would it not be the same in GCC? I'm speechless. The problem is, I mean, I could just patch that, which obviously is annoying. I'm speechless. I still need, I mean, that is not all. I would still need to debug why it complains. Maybe there is some matching going on that it doesn't recognize our... I mean, it shouldn't, but... This is some... Okay, this is just for PowerPC. Yeah, so... Something somewhere might not match for 64-bit maybe. Yeah, and that is the kind of stuff, right? It's not only one thing. It started with like, yeah, just build it for more architectures, and like the first, literally the first mainstream architecture you test, it's like, wow, how can everything be so out of sync and broken? Probably I shouldn't extract it verbose. I mean, we have Power 8 here. Ah, wait, this is Rust. Why is that in tools? So what I usually do is I delete this stuff. At least, what was it? Window? Somewhere is LVM. Oh, here. I mean, you could also grab -v or so. That this matches in Rust format is, of course, totally not helpful. But okay, I mean, why does this stuff match? Like, why is here config stuff in? So the problem is I have another... Okay, this totally doesn't match anything that is... Where do they have the CP? Or do they, maybe they pass it just through without checking? I need to check. Once upon a time, I patched some optimizations. Oh wait, it should be in source, right? Or in compiler. I probably should check what I once upon a time patched. Maybe I currently don't patch anyone anymore after we changed PowerPC G5. Where would the warning come from? No, this has pointer with 64 by default. Add prelink args GNU -64. So it's supposed to default to whatever is going on there. That is. Yeah, I have more. This is totally not what I wanted to make it. Yeah, hey, we are only 45 minutes in. So they run Rossi create. Where is the target CPU power 8? Invalid memory reference? Yeah. What? Maybe we grab that if that is LVM. I really wonder where the 60-bit code requests. There must obviously be something wrong. Because we are either running the native FOST AMD64 or PowerPC 64 cross-target. So why is this would complain? This doesn't specify a target though. Although the cargo target built that, so that is a little bit. It wouldn't be the first time that this Rust and cargo tools do not do what we ask them to. We could actually, what is it doing? Bin, lib driver. Which one is that even? Tools cross, lib cross driver. I'm a little bit. Yeah, there appears to be some regression. I recently also, I recently updated Rust and cargo, right? Maybe there is some more major Rust and cargo regression. I mean, usually you see me here live on this channel. Usually I double check that my scripted code does work, and I thought I for sure double checked that Alacrity or something cross-compiled. But it basically doesn't specify any target to Rust C, so that is a little bit sus. Unless it's passing it somewhere else, but I doubt it does. Yeah, let's see where this is coming from Rust or... apparently then from yeah, what a fun. And the problem is also with this oversized monstrous packages that the code is just so huge, right? So you need to debug through the huge pile of source code. This is LVM and Rust. Yeah, Unicode stuff. Ah, this is, yeah, this is actually also super stupid. It's not the first time I see this, so I think you need to custom patch LVM or build this in tree together with Rust or stuff. I guess that feature never worked for either, I don't know, upstream LVM. So Roland asks, does it even really have a default target? Yes, it has a default target. Maybe it's using host though, but I saw previously that did work. Trady Treff, maybe the reason I hate Java, just too many options. Yeah, so I mean, Rust C target, be PowerPC 64. Actually, let's test that. T2 Linux GNU Power. Oh no, this should have been target. PowerPC 64 T2 Linux GNU. PowerPC 64 T2 Linux GNU. LE. Yeah, too many targets. This also doesn't work. Interesting. CC. Did it previously once upon a time work? So this is trying to use generic CC to link, which is of course, yeah, so I mean the crazy stuff is the Rust and Cargo. People say integrated cross-compiling when in reality, yeah, it's integrated, but it, in my opinion, sucks. Do we have a, does it have some Rust C ops compiles under first option? Can it not just compile one file? How about that? Cargo run, thank you very much. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, yeah, so if we, I'm using system, like upstream clean system LVM to only have one link up PowerPC. Yeah, thanks for that. Let's see what happens then. recognize option C. Ah, still does. We also need PowerPC 64 LET2 Linux GCC. PowerPC 64 ET2 Linux GNU. Ah, forgot GNU. Okay, that works. So Open Power ELF version 2. Okay, that is amazing. So in theory, once upon, so basically just the target is ignored. I mean, maybe it's a cargo regression. You know what? Maybe it is. No, I was just thinking because it doesn't build the cargo tools. But yeah. So it appears then. Let's why let it check if. Last but not least, if this optimization. So I mean, we didn't fix it yet. It's just a little bit closer to understanding what's going on here. Okay, so this Power 8 indeed doesn't work. Power 8. Oh, fuck. So yeah, I'm really disappointed. This is so silly and completely stupid. And that is, I previously made a video, right? I lose faith with open source developers and stuff. Like why? Like who in the freaking mind and world? Who in the freaking mind and who in this world thinks that it's a good idea to use a completely different CPU name specification in two major compilers? I don't know. I mean, I noticed that previously that it didn't support G5. Apparently now they do. But I changed that in T2 to be PowerPC 970, whatever. Fix Rust cargo stuff to cross compile again. Patch LVM power. Oh, this is ridiculous power. So the problem is if, what do I use here? Power X, power N, nah, whatever. The problem is if I just patch it, I could then break other stuff that may rely on it. Maybe I do that though, because the problem is if I, like, duplicating that might introduce other issues. So maybe I just patch it to be in sync there. Oops. Yeah. That is, yeah, that is my life. 25 years fixing others people broken code and regressions. It's crazy, and it's sad. It's also really demotivating, right? For 25 years I fix issues like that, previously in C, since GCC 2 to 295.3 to GCC 3 transition where everything was broken and segmentation faulting. Then the invention of AMD 64, x86-64, where everything was broken and segmentation faulting. glibc from whatever, glibc 1 to 2 or whatever that was. Linux threads to next generation native POSIX threads. And then the advent of LVM, where even today, right, like a decade later, PowerPC 64 optimization options are totally out of sync. And then the advent of Rust, with Rust and Cargo, where despite many months of work in total over 3 years put into, you think everything is fixed and working, and then it isn't. Absolutely crazy. I probably have to revert Rust and Cargo and probably test if a previous version was bootstrapping more correctly. It's absolutely crazy. And I really, maybe also, I mean, not only that people are obviously YouTube content for vintage stuff, but I also really admire the easier times as people going outside to their cabin and stuff these days. I kind of can't deal with this complexity anymore. And that is sad, right? I'm one of those who for 25 years has so much full stack experience, but I can't sort of not, I kind of can't stand it anymore. Roland says maybe T2 needs a GCC to LVM. Yeah, but the problem is that for LVM, we don't really differ between GCC and LVM. So it's not only Rust, but also if you have Clang in the mix. So the same applies for stuff that needs to build with Clang. And then we would need even more code to differ and automatically wrap Clang and GCC differently. It is an option, right? It's sure, that is an idea, and thanks for that input. I mean, in the short term, it is easier to patch some LVM code for the targets that we optimize to. In the long term, eventually, it is always advantages and disadvantages. And one thing, it is also often like one thing might be easier in the beginning and the other thing more work in the beginning, and then it might pay off for decades to come when we have more and more. I mean, sure, at this point we have we could map that to Rust actually as we custom. Actually, we might have some translations there already. I mean, maybe we can quick hack that indeed. I think I have here already some extraction. Actually, we map here already some. We map cell already. Okay, we could actually, instead of patching it, okay, fair point, then let's power. To yeah, you see, we did this already partially. I even did the extra effort of mapping Esther to C3-2 for all the via vintage love. Not even sure how I discovered that. Maybe I probably quickly scrolled over the list and noticed it missing. Yeah, I mean, we could even indeed factor that out to map LVM to Clang. So power, so that would be CPU. Oops, this is also wrong. CPU. But yeah, thanks for reminding me then that actually we have here already some translation table. But I could also not make, I mean, that's some exotic, and you could even argue that this GCC choice here is, I never liked this internal codename stuff, So C3-2 is actually more sensible. But this power is just plain stupid. I mean, obviously I don't expect them to have cell, which obviously is also maybe deprecated in GCC and mostly the same as IBM G5/970, but this power is just stupid. So translate power to power, can't make this shit up. That is just ridiculous. Let's see if it works and we commit this already. Ah, darn, I hit Control-C in the wrong moment. Ah, how unfortunate. Probably adding to my to-do make our... Once upon a time I thought it was more Control-C safe, although maybe it is. But once upon a time I also crashed this. So yeah, Roland asks, does Clang not have a front end for GCC compat? I don't think they map optimizations. I would not have seen like even GCC does do. I'm not. Yeah, I mean maybe they have a dedicated file, but I thought they were just mostly option compatible. Yeah, you mean even the old, or do you mean the old, even older GCC front? But anyway, I would be surprised if they translate optimization options. But anyway, let's see what happens now. Do we still have this? So yeah, so power, it's still, so it's simply not using the target. It might be as simple as, I don't know what's going on here. We clearly run cargo build release target power PC. So it looks to me that it freaking ignores it. I think. I'm not sure what it's running uname S here for. I mean, our stuff works. Just that I've no idea, or is it building some native helper tools? I have no idea what it's trying to do there. Maybe it's auto-detecting some stuff. Because why would it say not the 64 sub-target when it should be either native AMD64? What is uname S as Linux? This is absolutely bizarre. I mean, it's, although it doesn't specify another target here, that is absolutely, but wait, this is another one, so create target release steps. I don't see here any target specified, so I would think I totally have no idea why it doesn't build 64-bit code at all. This is so bizarre. Absolutely mind-blowing. And the thing is, unfortunately, debugging this could take hours to fully understand what's really going on here. I mean, maybe we should check what it actually... Yeah, I would. What I usually do is an SS trace it also to see what it really runs there. But this is funny. It has here... Let's see, what are those binaries? But they could be... So they are PowerPC 64-bit, but they might be from C sources. It looks like only C sources built here. And what is this stuff here? Release build. Empty? All freaking empty now. This is no. They're all completely empty for whatever build failing reasons. Oh man. Now I'm confused. Does it build differently? No? What the heck? Thanks for the rusty wrapper. Sounds a little bit like I would want, but this is not strange. Why did this build? Oh, wait a second. Oh wait, it actually finished release. You know what? Maybe the bloody make file, you know what the problem is? Maybe the bloody make file reruns it. Here, pdata tools target build release. That is a freaking issue. Oh, turns out recurring theme, amazing upstream stuff, shooting ourselves and themselves recurrently into the food arm head. Wow. Okay. I mean, it's of course my fault. I should have read the freaking log more thoroughly. So yeah. So this, so the stuff reruns this. Yeah. Okay. Then it explains most things, that it mixes a native build here with cargo build release without further specification, with all the cross compiler environment variables and stuff. Where did it build that though? Let's maybe... So the problem is only this makefile getting in our way. This was built, right? Our target. But yeah, so this is a recurring work of, yeah, if you know what's happening there, I mean, yeah, the recurring theme, it takes, hey, only 20 or 30 minutes to figure this nonsense out. Yeah, I mean, I could have saved 25 minutes if I would have read the log, but yeah, I should have, yeah, I should expect more upstream stuff to go wrong. I didn't expect I mean, after 25 years, I probably should always expect the worst from upstream. It's like why run this again? It's like, so the thing is, maybe this built in another directory, potentially. So yeah, that is also a super annoying thing, that cross-compiled stuff is in another directory, which completely sucks, to be honest. So yeah, I really hate that. So that is why this. Do I even have a? That obviously sucks. Can you disable that? So the problem is only that how many minutes is this comment old? Don't see there. So the problem is only that this bloody makefile rebuilds it. So cargo disable. You can change where files written to. Actually, cargo has a lot of options nobody seems to use. Yeah. So by default, and I noticed that previously already, by default, cargo builds that in a target subdirectory for cross builds, which is super annoying. I mean, I could symlink that. So basically, cargo configure target release output, cargo build, even select something cargo build target. I call it custom cargo output directory. Target dir, something. Cargo level build has cargo config. Cargo target dir, use target dir environment variable. States the question what use cargo dir. Location where to place all generated artifacts relative to the current working directory. See build target dir. Can be overwritten with target dir. I wonder if cargo target dir release target. What do we have here? Let's see if that works. Maybe not. Thinprovisioning target would still place that apparently in. Yeah, so why have this target dir thing when it places it somewhere else anyway? Yeah, and this is how you spend your day, reading stupid build configurations. Cargo build, we build binary level targets. Binaries are skipped, cross compilation. Configure cargo so that puts results in target default target mode on Linux cargo build target debug. There's the result put in, even though the result is the same. Yeah, that's exactly what was the issue I'm facing. Target and config target make it use the target triple directory. Isn't that satisfactory? Even it sounds inconvenient. No real answer here. Thank you very much. There's an output. There is -- out there to copy artifacts to another day after the build. So yeah, so the problem is then. I mean, this is honestly, that is extremely frustratingly. I mean, and that is the kind of stuff, right? The Rust and Cargo fanboys and hipsters praise it for integrated cross-compiling, and then in the end, everything sucks, right? I mean, we are maybe the first to cross-compile the thinprovisioning tools because obviously they have target release p data hard-coded there. I mean, we could symlink that, which is annoying. I mean, actually, I wonder if. I mean, it's of course only a workaround, right? Let's not stream the neighbor's ugly music. If we symlink PowerPC64LE to Linux GNU, let's see what happens. What blocking? Wait, if you file log on build directory? Hello? I think it doesn't like it. Yeah, it didn't like the symlink, I believe. Hilarious. Doesn't like deadlocking on a bloody symlink. How do we solve this? But yeah, the smallest thing are, even the smallest thing are hurdle here. Try what happens if you target even for building what? Try what happens if you. Then it creates a symlink according to this other Google find here, right? There was someone complaining exactly for that, right? That if you target, then it still creates this directory there. So I think it's like basically if you specify targets, then it creates this directory. Yeah, I guess that is news in here, this here. So yeah, that is extremely annoying. maybe the problem is that it affects potentially. I mean, it doesn't necessarily affect all the other packages because many we manually copy. I only wonder, how do we do this with Alacrity? But yeah, I wonder how people can think this is a good idea, right? It only causes problems. I wonder if this star here even works correctly. All right, this is probably debug versus release, but so this apparently then fails for, this is a problem, right? Because this fails for cross-building when so yeah, it's, I don't see how I can easily solve that like that, except that this live stream is again too long with all those unforeseen problems. You quickly want to build some stuff and then all you get is lemons. Maybe the easiest to solve that would have cargo default to the cross-compile so that we wouldn't need to specify it, that if we run this cross-compiled cargo, that this would be the default target, because otherwise every but yeah, in 25 build systems, right? And they all suck differently. What should I say? So yeah, basically this we kind of solved, I would say, and solve cargo target binary object target dir difference for cross builds. It is set. That's my life. Probably explains why I'm increasingly burned out of all this modern tech stuff. We could commit already. Yeah. This power translation that apparently appears to work. Issues where there should not be one, and yeah, recurrently why we can't have nice things, right? My recurring peak bugs, right? Not only at Apple and Microsoft, Google, but even our own or others upstream open source stuff. It's absolutely, it's mind-blowing, right? The amount of detail that could go wrong. And even this target output directory, right? And like all the complex stuff of compilation and code generation works, and at the end of the day, just because the build tools are so, and the fanboys call it amazing and I call it broken, because they are so unfortunately broken. Like, how to even solve that here? What did I even... All right, I built the wrong one. I mean, we could symlink that. The problem is doing that generically. I mean, I could for this release just symlink it or something, or hard link it. Like if cross, then hard link target. What happens if we hard link that to here after the build? Maybe that's at least a hacky workaround, as other packages we might at times directly install as a build time optimization. So I would hope, does it even? No, whatever. No, why does it rebuild that again? So even for that apparently, yeah, it's ridiculous. Even hard link did not, but that's of course the build, the make. Maybe then additionally patch that. I mean, it would, because it doesn't have any dependencies, it would always run that, right? Ah, I symlinked that wrong also. I symlinked that to the target directory. But we wouldn't need to symlink it. If we run make opt with the actual target here. I mean, it's super messy and yeah, but oh darn, I copied the wrong. I wonder if this, does it substitute? Maybe not. No, it doesn't substitute. I wonder if it anyway works without substitution. If we're lucky. No, it doesn't. It takes it literally for some. Alright, because what target? Ah, because we have an extra. Okay, that works because it expands and when it runs in shell. Okay, I guess that is my solution for now. Super sucks, but hotfix patch cross. It's hilarious, but what should I say? I'm sorry to be so negative here, but if you, for most of your life and for decades, you see such imperfection, I'm disappointed, burnt out, and like whatever you touch and build is at least partially broken, annoying, regression. It's Fingers crossed. Yeah, someone asked to update the documentation of T2 Linux. Yes, that's also the thing, right? For 25 years, you fix everything and keep everything working that nobody else cares about, and then people, we want more documentation. I plan to do that and so on, but have you shared, liked, subscribed, super thanked, super chat, Patreon? Like, what's your Patreon email stuff? It's like, yeah, there's only so much time I have left after fixing everything, so also update the document. I mean, the documentation is not that much out of sync. Most, like over 90% written in the documentation still applies. But yes, I'm aware that could be better, but yeah, why does this not work? Add stage cross and make inst opt. Add stage, why does this not work? Or is this actually, you know what, we could evaluate that. All right, maybe because this expands there, that kind of makes sense, but that is probably why. But yeah, people always want more, right? Not only I create with the fewest human resources ever for 25 years, the distribution supporting the most CPU architectures ever, and then people's like the documentation is outdated. Isn't that fun? Okay, that still doesn't work. But there's always one more thing, right? Even if your stuff is amazing, then it's a documentation. All right, we don't see a log of that because what have I done there? Make varpen. Ugh. I probably should go out and enjoy some sunshine after torturing me with Rust, Cargo, Make, and other crazy stuff. So that's basically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. I have more. I could add that. Oh, cool. This also didn't install right. Why not? How is this now not installing right? Oh, come on. When you thought you after 1.5 hours finally ready, then stuff doesn't install with this dear. Where some min pages, right? Min path, bin dir, min path has a data dir, this dir. I guess we patch that. Probably we supply data dir. Do we set data dir? We don't. Prefix stock dir. Oh wait, the whole bloody prefix is this dir. Oh, how do I deserve this? What is wrong with oh my god. How can stuff be so non-standard broken? How did I sign up for this? How did I end up here? Please send help and money. My nerves. You can't make this up. Anyway, that's hopefully it then for today. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. Don't forget to GoFundMe, Patreon, GitHub sponsor, or just share, like, and subscribe. I wish you another nice day or night and hope to see you soon for the next fun and stuff to come.